From barn-long fowling pieces with 6-foot barrels, 1600s, to a 2020 smart shotgun with an onboard display, this is the straight-line evolution of the shotgun. Let's start at the beginning. Long fowling piece. Origins 1600. In the early 1600s, the fowling piece was a long, slim smoothbore built for birds. Barrels were often 4 to 6 feet, charged with black powder and hand-cast lead shot, and loaded from the muzzle. Locks evolved across the century. Matchlock and wheel lock early on, flintlock by the late 1600s, making ignition faster and more reliable in wet marshes. Without choke, patterns were loose. The very long barrel helped with smooth swings on flying targets and squeezed a bit more push from slow powder. These civilian bird guns sometimes crossed into militia use, with buckshot for doors and lanes distances. Blunderbuss, 17th century. Short, handy, and loud, the blunderbuss. Its Dutch name comes from donderbus, thunder gun, and its flared muzzle wasn't for spreading shot so much as easing fast reloads on a jolting coach or deck. Typical use, close quarters defense for naval boarding, stagecoaches, and city watch. Loads were coarse shot or mixed pellets, tails of nails, rocks, and scrap exist, but that's mostly emergency lore. At urban distances, think a doorway, its pattern and intimidation mattered more than precision. Materials and geometry, short barrels, big bores, emphasize pattern over precision, a principle later civilized by choke boring and improved wads. The compact point-and-shoot role foreshadows modern close-quarters duties. The blunderbuss trades long-range swing for compact control and speed, establishing the shotgun's role in confined spaces. Punt gun, 1872. Imagine a smoothbore so big you mount it to a tiny boat. Market hunters in the late 1800s used these 8 to 10 foot punt guns to fire a single enormous charge into tightly packed rafts of waterfowl at dawn. One pull could drop dozens of birds and kick the boat backward across the marsh. It was efficient. It was also devastating. Feather and meat demand soared. Bird numbers crashed. Law caught up to technology. In the United States, the Lacey Act 1900 choked interstate trade in illegally taken wildlife. The Weeks-McLean Act in 1913 asserted federal protection for migratory birds. The Migratory Bird Treaty Act 1918 effectively ended market waterfowling, punt guns included, and reset shotgunning toward regulated sport, seasons, and bag limits. Manufacturers followed, focusing on lighter, purpose-built sporting guns. The punt gun era proved that scaling up firepower without rules collapses the resource. Conservation law became the true safety for the skies. Spencer Model-1882. The 1880s solved the speed problem. Spencer Model 1882 proved a repeating, sliding fore-end shotgun could be practical. Its quirky two-trigger layout, rear to fire, front as a built-in rescue for a stubborn shell, shows how early engineers chased reliability first, ergonomics second. Winchester Model, 1897. A decade later, John M. Browning's pump lineage at Winchester, Model 1893 refined into Model 1897, set the template: underbarrel tube magazine, exposed hammer, and robust action that tolerated mud and rough handling. By World War I, the 1897 and its successor presents earned the nickname trench gun. Loaded with buckshot, they were valued for brutal close-quarters conditions of trench raids and guard duty. German diplomatic protests in 1918 framed the shotgun as inhumane. The U.S. rejected that claim. Pumps normalize buckshot at scale, and as choke boring and better wads spread, patterns tighten for duty and sport. From mid-century on, the pump also becomes the platform for less lethal rounds, rubber, baton, beanbag, in corrections and crowd control. Design lineage only. On screen, the 1897/Model 12 silhouette seeds the classic pump rack audio cliche. Pump action was the decisive leap from single shots to fast, repeatable fire under stress, establishing the shotgun's modern rhythm for work, war, and sport. Browning Auto 5, 1902 flips the script. A shotgun that cycles itself. John M. Browning's long recoil design, the barrel and bolt recoil together, then separate, delivered repeat shots without a pump stroke. Its tall, humpback receiver gave a distinctive sighting plane and became an icon. After U.S. firms initially passed, F.N. Herstal backed it. The platform ran for decades. and through harsh field use. Licenses and derivatives followed. Remington Model 11 from 1905 and Savage 720, 1930s to 40s, spreading the autoloader into American closets and duck blinds. Users praised softer perceived recoil and quicker second shots compared to doubles of the day. Friction ring tuning helped accommodate different loads without tools on the hunt. The Auto 5 proved a reliable semi-automatic could be mainstream, shaping sporting guns between wars and setting expectations for every semi-auto that followed. Winchester Model 12, 1912, took the pump blueprint and ironed it like Sunday shirts. A slick, hammerless action, clean lines, and factory options from field to riot and trench trims made it a one-gun solution. Production crossed the 2 million mark, and it shadowed 2 world wars in guard and close quarters roles, while anchoring American upland and duck blinds in peacetime. Winchester Model 37, 1936, went the other way. Simple, single shot, break-open utility. Affordable steel and wood offered in 12, 16, 20, 28, and .410. It became the farm kid's first shotgun and a dependable barn tool. Over 1 million sold, says the formula worked. Between wars, the perfect repeater and the perfect simple split the market. Refinement versus minimalism, and both paths endured. Remington 870, 1950, becomes the American default pump. A strong receiver, twin action bars, and parts designed for efficient machining made it rugged and affordable. Field, police, and marine trims turned one core action into many roles. Over the decades, it sold in the many millions, one of the most produced shotguns ever. Mossberg 500, 1961, answers with versatility. An ambidextrous tang safety, alloy receiver to save weight, and a famously modular ecosystem. Swap barrels, stocks, and forends. Go from upland to slug to defensive setups with the same gun. Its production also climbs into 8 figures, cementing the do-it-all pump lane. Remington 1100, 1963, brings soft gas-operated cycling to the masses. Lower felt recoil, and smooth timing make it a staple in skeet fields and duck blinds. It sets expectations for reliable semi-autos through the 1970s. Post-war manufacturing turned shotguns into platforms, high-volume pumps, and a soft-shooting gas auto that defined how Americans hunt, train, and accessorize. High-standard Model 10, 1967, flips the layout to bullpup, action, and magazine behind the trigger, so you keep barrel length but shrink overall size for tight interiors. Built-in light and top carry handle options speak to law enforcement roots. Real-world use flagged trade-offs. Unusual ergonomics, and finicky reliability with some loads. Franchi S. PAS 12, 1979 goes another way. Dual-mode operation. Pump for light or specialty loads, semi-auto for standard shells, with rugged furniture and a distinctive folding stock. It promised flexibility, but brought bulk and complexity. Weight and maintenance tempered its appeal outside niche roles. LE adoption in this era grows a less lethal lane. Baton, straight rubber, seared beanbag. Wider polymer furniture and protective coatings trim weight and resist corrosion. On screen, the SPAS-12 becomes a pop culture icon, shaping the futuristic combat shotgun silhouette. AA-12, 1972, asks, what if a shotgun drank 3 espressos? Maxwell Atchison's design chased controllable full auto 12-gauge with a simple gas system and constant recoil feel. Demonstrators in later decades, reworked by military police systems, claimed approximately 300 rounds per minute with low muzzle rise. It proved a point more than it filled an armory. You can automate a shotgun, but weight, ammo bulk, and mission fit bite back. USAS-12, late 1980s, from South Korea's Daewoo, went magazine-fed with 10-round boxes and 20-round drums for rapid reloads. In 1994, the US ATF ruled it a non-sporting, destructive device, pushing it into strict registration and keeping civilian numbers tiny. Saiga 12, 1997, translated the AK layout to 12-gauge, rotating bolt, detachable magazines, and rugged furniture. It seeded a cottage industry of magazines and competition parts, showing how rifle ergonomics could carry into scatterguns. Benelli M4, 1998, walks in like the responsible adult. Argo twin pistons that just run hot, dirty, mixed loads, still polite. The U.S. Marine Corps agrees, adoption follows, and suddenly Rail's optics-ready receivers and durable coatings are trending. Detachable mags boosted burst and reload speed. But the service winner was the reliable, self-regulating semi-auto, embodied by the M4. Kel-Tec KSG 2011 stacks, dual underbarrel tubes in a bullpup pump, letting users select between them and carry up to 14+1 with 2 3/4-inch shells. Magazine capacity without rifle length overall size. Balance is rear heavy. The payoff is short, OAL, with real barrel length. UTAS-UTS-15, 2012, follows the dual tube idea with an angular polymer shell and integrated accessory variants, light/laser. Early runs drew mixed reliability notes, but the concept kept attention on modular, high-capacity pumps. IWI Taver TS12, 2018, switches to semi-auto and a rotating triple-tube magazine, 15+1 with 2 3/4 inches. The cylindrical feed unit keeps the gun short while preserving capacity, trading simplicity for timing and weight shifts as tubes rotate. Kalashnikov MP-155, Ultima 2020, adds an onboard digital display for status/training info, signaling electronics edging into scatterguns. The modern era compresses shotguns into short, high-capacity packages, often bullpups, and experiments with electronics. But every gain brings new trade-offs in weight, balance, and manual complexity. Which design leap surprised you most? Drop a model and a year you think we missed, and tell us why it mattered.